Welcome to SMarchive, man. I'm Kevin Smith. Today we're going to show you something that if you followed our stuff at all, you've probably already seen on maybe the Red State DVD, or maybe you were there in the room when it happened. Sundance 2011, I believe it was. This was the year that I got up on stage and said, I'm going to take the movie out myself. I said a bunch of stuff, advocated for art and whatnot. There's clips of this all over YouTube, but we figured for SMarchive, we might as well keep it for posterity as well. Shot by Zach and Joey, my two buddies who shoot our documentaries on our DVDs, and they also do spoilers on Hulu. Plug, spoilers. Go check it out. This was the moment that kind of started the SMODco project in earnest. SMODco began this night when I kind of stood up on stage and was like, I'm going to do it myself. And, you know, a lot of negative Nancy's heard something else that night on the stage, and they weren't listening with the heart of an artist, or a heartist, if you will. In any event, this was a historic moment for SMODco, for smodcast.com, for SIR, for S.I.T. All that stuff kind of came from this moment where I stood up on stage and was like, I'm going to try this by myself, or, you know, we're going to do this ourselves. So it's important that it be here. It's an important part of the SMarchive, man. All right, so without further ado, man, yes, it's available on other places on YouTube, but now it's available right here on S.I.T, SMODco Internet Television. It should be here because I said it and this is my channel. Ladies and gentlemen, the Red State Sundance speech. Watch me implode.
Welcome to the world premiere of Red State.
Okay, so that was different. We have some business to attend to, but first off, I just wanted to explain the stick. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the very last hockey stick that Wayne Gretzky ever used as an Edmonton Oiler. This is the last stick that he was holding when he won his fourth and final Stanley Cup back in 1988. Right after that, everything changed. The very next year, he went to Los Angeles and expanded the NHL throughout the United States. But at that point, it was the beginning of the end of something. Fourth Stanley Cup, he'd been with those people forever, and then everything changed the next year. I wanted to hold on to it because Wayne Gretzky has become something of a personal hero of mine over the last 2 years. And Wayne Gretzky's father, Walter Gretzky, who became a friend of mine, is a guy I like very much, gave his son a piece of advice when he was a kid, because his father was his hockey teacher. Took him out on the river out behind his grandmother's house, strapped skates on him, and would train him all the time. Then there was a backyard rink that he'd flood his backyard, train his kid there as well. The piece of advice that Walter Gretzky gave Wayne Gretzky was this, and it's I've been using it for the last 2 years now. Don't go where the puck's been. Go where it's going to be. The philosophy was simple. If you puck chase, you're always going to be behind the game. But if you kind of know where the puck's going to wind up, or if you study, or if you watch the game enough, you want to be the person that's where the puck's going to be, not scrumming in the fucking corner, but ready to take your shot. Ladies and gentlemen, 17 years ago, I came to this festival and took my shot, and it was amazing. My life changed in an evening. Everything fucking changed. And from that moment forward, we kept pretty busy working. And we came back here a couple of years after Clerks with Chasing Amy, and that was nice because I had made Clerks, then I made Mallrats, and everyone hated Mallrats for some reason. Then I came back here with Chasing Amy, and everyone was like, good job, you're back. And I got pats on the back and stuff like that. And I was like, whew, my career is saved. Last movie I made was Cop Out. So naturally, I had to get back here fucking quick. And this is the movie I came with. Now, as you can see, this is a labor of love. As I said before, we're talking about September 21st is when we started shooting. And we're talking about a budget of less than $4 million. A little hair under. We'll open up, you'll be able to see the exact figure later on, but it's a little hair under $4 million. I was pretty proud of that. And we did it quick, shot about 25 days. 4 months later, we're here. While we were making that movie, I was assisted by a zillion Gretzkys on my crew. Everyone there cinched the belts
to pull it off. We're up at the Sundance Film Festival, so this is not an uncommon story. When you're passionate about something, everyone feels it and kind of jumps in if they dig the project enough. I don't think I would have gotten that same kind of cooperation on Cop Out, but I certainly got it on this movie in a big bad way, and it was moving. People just didn't fucking get paid. Some cats, I was one, but some cats didn't get paid. Some cats took well below their rate. And everyone was there, even though we had late nights and shit. It's the same old independent story that you've heard a zillion fucking times. We were all in it for the love. And I loved that, man. I've been in this business 17 years now, making films, good or bad, for that long, and this is my 10th flick. And in that time, I've learned a few things. Like when I was here originally, the most important thing in the world that I could do was sell my movie. So this time was the first independent flick I made since Clerks, the first time that somebody else didn't pay for the movie. Well, I mean, we had investors, but no studio paid for the movie. And it was scary because I was like, okay, we're gonna go up there, do what we're supposed to do, make the movie, bring it up, sell the movie. That's what you do. And I started thinking about the math. It's a $4 million movie. And if we sell it to a distributor, let's say it's about, maybe we get 4, maybe we get 6 if we're fucking lucky. Things don't seem to be going for the happy Texas dollars anymore up here. So let's say it's about 4 million. Let's say we get 6. We're real lucky. If Harvey goes ape shit, here's 6. Let me go back to the Jets game. Let's say we get 6. Movie like this, essentially, when they go out there in the world with it, they put $20 million in marketing on it. There's what they call in this business the Lionsgate 20 million. It's not a mark that, it's not slammed by any stretch of the imagination. Dude's like, yay, Lionsgate. Lionsgate does a standard 20 million bucks, man. They just kind of spend about 20 million on all their movies, and they've worked it out to their average, works out very nicely for them. So then I sat there going, okay, the budget's 4 million, then they give us, let's say we get 6 for it. Suddenly we got to make back 6 million before I'll feel okay. I was Catholic, raised Catholic. I carry a lot of guilt about borrowing people's money. So at that point, essentially, we got to make not the $4 million that we made the movie for, but then, well, now 6 to pay back if we got 6 million from somebody. Then they put the 20 million on top of it. And that's 26 million the movie's now got to make. But it's okay, we could probably do fucking 26 million, we try hard enough. But we all know that's not the case, because all that money doesn't go back to a studio or a distributor or anything like that. So essentially, you then have to make $50 million, double that $26 million, a little under the double number, in order to just get into the profit line. This is one of the things that I've learned in 17 years. Ladies and gentlemen, I never wanted to know jack shit about business. I'm a fat, masturbating stoner, That's why I got into the movie business. It seemed like the place where fat, masturbating stoners went. And if somebody had told me at the beginning of my career, you're gonna have to learn so much about business, finance, amortization, all this shit, monetization, I would have been like, fuck it, I'm just gonna stay home, smoke and masturbate, because that's too much work, man. If somebody told me all the stupid, horseshit, soul-killing, uncreative, backwards-ass bullshit business that I now have in my head, that I've pushed out creative things to make a way for, like, okay, we're gonna take the movie out, it has to be a 4-quadrant movie. It has to play here, 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 and here. If we do that, then we're gonna look at this money coming in, half of that goes back. Don't forget the revenue stream with DVD. It's too much fucking horseshit. I just wanna tell fucking stories. So, this is what I've been thinking. When they spend that 20 million bucks, generally they spend it to get attention. They spend it to get people in to see the movie. But in our case, we will have spent $4 million, and then someone else will spend 20 million marketing it. And that's 5 times the amount of money that we actually had to make the movie. I could have used 20 million making this movie, as you can see. We could have used some more cash. Looks fantastic, but that's a $4 million movie. If I had 20 and make the movie, everyone would have got paid. Nobody would have had to take, fucking low salary or no salary whatsoever. People could have stayed in nice places. But we didn't. We cinched our belts and we all did it together to pull it in for the 4 million bucks, just so that when all was said and done, it was a low budget and we could hopefully sell it for, a bunch of money and everyone be happy and happily ever after at the end. It just doesn't really kind of work like that anymore, man. For me, the idea of spending 5 times, giving somebody else 5 times the amount of the budget for the movie that we all collectively made, tried our asses off real hard. Like, it's a big enough hurdle to find money to make a movie. And then when it's all said and done, they're like, that's nothing compared to what you're gonna spend, because the model came from the studios. Studio model makes sense. You spend $100 million on a movie, you better spend 100 or 50 to 100 million marketing it in this day and age, because you're trying to build a franchise. That makes sense. And when studios started buying indies, that's when I got in the game. It was back when, Disney bought Miramax. So I came into a world of like, we spend on movies, but Harvey was so fucking clever back then. The company had just been bought and shit like that, and he still had that fucking like, I'm not gonna spend money. Harvey would always tell us something that inspired me. He created a kind of brotherhood mentality at Miramax. And one of the things that he said, which always fucking got to me, was just like, he would look at other studios opening movies. Not just studios, but like the new lines and shit, like the fine lines, even back in the day. And whenever they would open well with like something that really wasn't that good, Harvey would literally just go, fuck, they just keep buying it. And I was like, what does that mean? He's like, they just keep buying it. Anybody could buy the opening of a movie. It takes no talent to spend $20 million to make people aware of the fucking movie. Now you gotta make that money back. And it's just like, yeah. And Harvey would always say, studio 30 million is like my 15 million. My 15 is like their 30. I know how to spend money. Because Harvey was very, very good and taught us very well how to release a film. We just paid attention for many, many years and watched what he did. The man was a genius. He was amazing. He was an artist. And I just sat there and sucked it all in, me and John Gordon. Because John trained under Harvey. John was Harvey's assistant for years and years. So we called our company the Harvey Boys for Harvey, because he taught us everything we know. And one of the things that Harvey taught us is never give up a sure thing. Never give up a good thing, man. Hold on to it yourself. And the more I started thinking about that, compared to like, we gotta sell the movie and then go through the whole rigmarole of everything. Every time I've ever made a movie, it's the same fucking thing. We make it for a very small budget, somebody spends a shit ton of money in marketing it, and then I never see anything. Nobody ever sees any money ever again. They're just like, well, it's still, we still gotta make our money back. It took 7 years for Clerks, a movie that cost $27,575 to go into profit. When that's happening, when you're spending 4 times, 5 times the amount to market a movie or open a movie than you are to make it, that's not an inspiring game at all. No kid can get into it now. I look at the fucking film world now and I'm like, there's no way I would have tried it. I wouldn't have tried Clerks today, because it's impenetrable. Even if you're lucky enough to make a movie, how the fuck are you gonna open a movie? It takes so much fucking money and shit, so much time, effort, and everything is fetishized about that one fucking 3 days. They'll spend 30, 40, 50 million just for 3 fucking days. I spent 25 days working on this. I'm not gonna fucking sit there and bank everything on 3 days. Like, there's no point. Now, I've been doing some shit on the side for a few years now, aside from this movie nonsense, and I've kind of built up a little audience of sorts. There's the Twitter thing, of course, but we have this SModcast network of podcasts that we do. Some guys have heard of it. Online, and during that, we've built it up into a financial concern of some sort. It's a profitable little fun thing. Used to be a hobby, now we make money off of it. The 2 best or most heard or most listened to podcasts on the network pull in about 300,000 listeners per episode. Via that and via like Twitter, I've been able to sell out Carnegie Hall without spending a fucking dime in marketing. I've sold out the Sydney Opera House twice. I've sold out about 15, 19 theaters across this country this year after I got kicked off the airplane and started busting around and just getting on stage and crying about it. And in that time, man, I figured out like, this is what it's all about to me. It's great we can all sit here in front of the movie, but this is the best part. Sitting there and talking to people afterwards. And that's something I'm used to doing. I do it on the podcast, I do it on Twitter all fucking day long, and I love to do it when we take the movie out on the road. And what I would like to keep doing is doing that. I had so much fun making this movie. I have had so much fun getting the movie ready for Sundance. Call it what you will, marketing, spinning, fucking turning it into a circus. I did it from my fucking desk in my office while smoking joints and going, this might be fun, and it was a blast, and it was creative, and then suddenly it was like, movie doesn't have to end when you make the movie. This makes no sense to me. After 17 years, I don't understand. It's like, I'm a parent now, so I can kind of think of things in terms of children and parents. It would be akin, selling my film is akin to having a baby, and then handing it over to somebody else to raise. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know how to raise my kid. It's been 17 years I've been doing this. I've been out there in the world. I've been listening. I think I know how to fucking do this. So, I know a lot of cats have earned the audience waiting for an auction. I talked about I was gonna pick my distributor in the room, auction style. I can't speak for the movie by myself. I'm not the only one. I'm just the writer-director. I would like John Gordon to come up here and join me real quick. Where is he? Come on up. John Gordon, ladies and gentlemen, my producer. John, essentially, when it comes to the flick, I do the creative shit, and John has definitely taken care of all the fucking business aspects of the movie. So, if we're gonna do an auction, John should really conduct it, because in my heart of hearts, I don't want to fucking sell the movie to somebody who's just gonna pour money on top of it. But this is a business that we're in. There's no avoiding it. John's gonna conduct the auction, open up the floor right now. It's gonna be very simple, very fucking civil, and we're gonna see what this movie's worth. John?
I hereby open up the bidding on Red State.
I bid $20. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I came here 17 years ago, and all I wanted to do was sell my movie. And I can't think of anything fucking worse 17 years later than selling our movies to people that just don't fucking get it. And their most creative fucking endeavors, like, well, let's just spend money on it. I'm sure that'll work. This has been so much fun for me, making the flick and keeping the flick alive. And we're gonna keep it alive till October 19th. We're gonna release this picture ourselves through my SModcast Pictures banner. Thank you. On October 19th, that's when we hope to be in theaters in terms of New York or LA or wide. We're not quite sure. We're going to have to figure that out. But October 19th is a special day for me. It is the 17th anniversary of the theatrical release of Clerks. So we figured, like, let's hit that date because, I don't know, it's kind of similar. We're starting over, so to speak. And this time, it's not enough to just make the movie. We have to learn how to release the movie, because true independence isn't making a film and selling it to some jackass. True independence is schlepping that shit to the people yourself. And that's what I intend to do. So, SModcast Pictures is going to take Red State out on the road. Just kind of the way that they used to do with the movies. Like Gone with the Wind would go play somewhere for a week, a month, pack up, go someplace else, play it there as well. Pack up, leave, do that kind of thing. Road show. We're going to do the same thing with Red State. It's called the Red State USA Tour, and it kicks off on March 5th in Radio City Music Hall. So we're going to show Red State and motherfucking Blue State. It is a big deal for us. That's a big fucking house, and we aim to fill it. 6,000 seats, so we're going to need your help. That's one of the reasons I didn't have as many screenings here as everyone wanted and shit. I got to make money off this bitch, you know what I'm saying? I ain't playing the game the way you all play the game anymore, where it's just like sell it and somebody pours money out. No, every fucking penny counts in this. Every penny of this operation has to be monetized and put right back into the fucking kitty. So we're going to make our money back by going out on the road and going city by city. March 5th it starts in Radio City Music Hall. The next day is March 6th, the Wilbur Theater in Boston. March 8th, the Harris Theater in Chicago. March 9th, the State Theater in Minneapolis. March 10th, Michigan Theater in Ann Arbor. March 11th, Close Hall, Indianapolis. March 12th, Midland Theater, Kansas City, as the home of the Phelpses. So I might pick at their fucking house. March 14th, we go to Clark State Pack Center in Springfield, Ohio. March 22nd, the Paramount Theater in Denver. March 26th, McAllister Theater in New Orleans. March 28th, the Paramount Theater in Austin. March 29th, the Cobb Energy Center in Atlanta. And April 4th, the Marion Oliver McCaw Hall in Seattle. Those are our first set of dates. Now, we've done the math. We take our picture out on the road for those 15 dates. We can sell out all those rooms, and I think we can. Essentially, right there, we're at about netting $1.5, $1.7 million. So essentially, we're almost halfway back to paying our budget off. You know what I'm saying? None of this fucking marketing. We're going to play the game straight, and we're not going to spend a fucking dime on marketing. I've been able to just whip up, look at all the shit I've been able to do with this movie. I feel like the Joker. I'm like, look what I did with a couple cans of gasoline and some bullets. You know what I'm saying? Like, all it takes is just a little ingenuity, a little creativity. And since we create these movies and love them so much, it only makes sense that we take them out into the world. And fucking, I'm happy to bring the flick from place to place. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to tour the movie from now until October 19th. If you can't wait to see it in a normal movie theater on October 19th, then you can come see it on any one of these tour dates throughout March and the beginning of April. Then we go quiet for another month. And if we're lucky and if the tour goes well, we'll open up the tour again. John and I intend to pay the entire $4 million budget back before the movie opens on October 19th. When it opens on October 19th, we're not going to spend to open it. We're not going to buy any commercials. We're not going to do print media, outdoor, billboards, nothing like that. Essentially, we're just going to pay, of the P&A equation, which is prints and advertising, we're going to do the P part. We're going to make our prints. We have to in order to show the movie. The advertising part, we're not going to do at all. What else do I got? What? Thank you. John, what a great producer. Now, we're obviously not selling the movie, so I'm sorry to a lot of the distributors in the room. Some of the cats who were here, look, I'm not that sorry. It's a fucking film festival. Come see a movie. Number two, you saw the movie. You can't do anything with it, but I know how to fucking sell this movie. I know how to market this movie, man. Like, so don't, no hard feelings. Hopefully you don't mind. Next time, maybe we sell you the movie. Fuck it, we'll never sell you the movie. But thank you for coming. I'm sorry if you left the Jets game. I put a Twitter out where I was just like, hey man, I understand sports enthusiasm, so if you feel the need to watch the Jets game and not come to the movie, no harm, no foul. So if people didn't do that, I'm sorry. But at the same time, I will say this in my own defense. A lot of you work for studios and shit. Studios make movies. Movies have trailers. So you guys make a lot of trailers. You've lied to me many times. You know what I'm saying? I've seen many trailers where I was like, this is awesome, and I put my money down. I'm like, you fucking lying whores. So, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, we're up here alienating all our future work, just burning the bridge as we cross it. And that means that there's probably not going to be much studio help for me and John in the future. But what we do need to release this movie, what anybody needs to release a movie, is not a motherfucking studio. You need a goddamn exhibitor. So me and John are talking to any smart exhibitor partners out there who are willing to listen. We want to partner up, man. We want to show our flick in your theater, in your houses. And this is what I could tell you. Last few years, I've been pulling in about 8 to 10 million in box office, man. Now, naturally, they spent to get to that point, but we'll see. I think at this point, based on the amount of tours I've been able to sell out, the amount of merchandise we've been able to sell, SModcast, how big it's become. I mean, I'm literally wearing a pair of SModcast sneakers, the Forgeticus. You know, we've got something there. So essentially, I forgot where I was going with it. Oh, exhibitor partner. I've got an audience, ladies and gentlemen. They come to see the shit I do. Not everyone likes it. A lot of people come see the stuff I do. They're very hardcore, and they've been waiting for this movie for a long, long fucking time. Exhibitor partners, you want to get in bed with us. We'll give you way better fucking terms than the studios, and you know these motherfuckers fuck you constantly, man. Constantly. We'll give you more to ticket on the first weekend than they ever fucking will. And at the end of the day and shit, we won't screw you over for numbers. We won't be like, well, you got to take fucking this piece of shit. If you want Dark Knight, you got to take this piece of shit cop out. You know, we won't do shit like that. We want to partner up with you. We want to be in bed with you. I'm a filmmaker. I just need a place to show my movie. That's a movie theater. So we're looking for a smart exhibitor partner who wants to come in with us, give us some screens, get a nice fucking split of the loot and whatnot, and do this as a separate outside model. Here's the thing. If I was a kid and I was trying to get into the film business and I just saw how difficult it was, how expensive it is and shit like that, I would just sit there and be like, forget it, I'm not gonna fucking try. What we want to do is like, yes, anybody can make a movie. We know that now. We know that because I've made 10. You know what I'm saying? That means anybody can make a fucking movie. What we aim to prove is that anybody can release a movie as well. And it's not enough to just make it and sell it anymore, I'm sorry. Look, if this is your first Sundance and that's all you want to do, by all means, fucking do it. I don't think you're stupid for wanting to do it. I did it myself once. But indie film isn't dead, people. It just grew up. It's just indie film 2.0 now. And in indie film 2.0, we don't let them sell our movie. We sell our movie ourselves. So please join me when we're out on the road. I'm not talking to the press, I'm not talking to distributors and shit like that. I'm talking to potential filmmakers out there, and I'm not also talking to just this room. This is also a podcast that will be online tomorrow.
I think we can pick one more question.
Okay, I'm almost done. Almost done. Help us out with this. Please come out and see the flick. In these theaters we're showing it, naturally it ain't gonna play for the price of a fucking movie in a multiplex. You're gonna pay probably 6, 7, maybe 10 times as much as you would normally pay to see a movie, but we're gonna give you some cool shit. We got the movie in a stately grandeur house. I'm gonna come up, do Q&A afterwards. I'm gonna bring the great Mr. Michael Parks with me. And Michael Parks perhaps will be encouraged to sing. It's gonna be a good fucking time, but here's the important thing. If we can get this right, if we can crack this fucking nut, if we can get distribution down so that we can step aside from the fucking studio model, from the expensive model, and make it affordable to everybody, if we can do this right, and if we finish where we think we'll finish, this kicks open the door for me and John for what we were trying to do when we were building Red State originally. We wanted to crowdsource finance the movie. Fans wanted to see it made, so we were like, fuck it, let's let them pay for it and shit, and then we can all go to Sundance. And then somebody scared me off of it online. They said I was a beggar and shit, so I was, ooh, I better not do that. Scared me right offline, I didn't want to do it anymore. Now with the Red State experience, now that we're kind of the captains of our own future and shit, where we're gonna distribute the movie ourselves and whatnot, it's time to kick open the next logical step in evolution. I'm almost done making movies, folks. This is the second to last. Hit Somebody's the next one I'm gonna do. After that, I'm fucking done. What I wanna do after I make that movie, though, is start making your movies. So once we get the Red State code cracked, if this works for us, SModcast Pictures belongs to all of us. And you're gonna make your movies and put them out through our studio, and it ain't gonna cost you a fucking dime. So root for us if you will, hate us if you must. But I can't think of a more interesting business news story that you're ever gonna hear about this fucking year, man. We're definitely gonna go out there, try to find a new distribution model. Please help us out in doing it. Thank you for coming to see Red State tonight. Can I bring up the cast real quick before we get out of here? Where are they? Guys, jump up real quick. I'm sorry, I took so much time talking. While they're coming up here, let me give a shout out to my man Sean, who took 3 flights from fucking Upper Alberta to get this stick here today. And boy, did I need it. Hi, guys. Give it up, ladies and gentlemen. There's Michael Angarano, Nick Braun, Carrie Bechet, Kyle Gallner, Stephen Root, Betty Aberlin, and the amazing Mr. Michael Parks. Everyone, thank you. Enjoy Sundance 2011. Good night.